Under the spell of Neptune, we're going to see what we want to see. What's up, everyone? We are back with another round of astrology shots to get us through the period of July 12th through July 20th. And we are kicking it off with Venus this time. And Venus is, as we know, our planet of love, money, beauty, and relationships. And Venus is actually following in the same footsteps as Mercury from last week. So if you were following me last week, if you were following along with me, then you remember the puzzle cube conundrum that we had, where we had that Mercury-Neptune kaleidoscope, too many variables, too many windows looking in, and too many different points of view, and too much information to try to make sense of it all. And then you had poor Saturn, heavily tasked with trying to bring clarity and trying to streamline all this information. And as we talked about, sometimes just we're not meant to have all the answers. Like, it's like astrology, like we don't know how it works. But anyways, with Venus, we're going to enter into this similar pattern, but this time it has to do with our relationships, or maybe it has to do with our finances. But either way, a lot of times when we get this Venus-Neptune square, which is happening on July 14th, there can be like a tendency to over-idealize, or it's just like those typical rose-colored glasses where we see what we want to see. We can easily delude ourselves when it comes to love. And just taking a step back for a second, Venus in Gemini craves new experiences. Venus in Gemini wants to just like, that is just, let's have fun. Let's go to a bunch of parties and see what happens. And so Venus is taking in a lot of new experiences in the social sector, at least she desires to. So Neptune can just bring in like a lot of this newness, and it's sort of flooding. It can be flooding. Meanwhile, Saturn is like, let's define this. Let's figure out what this is. And so that might be your situation. Another situation is your Venus and Saturn, and you know exactly what your relationship is. But Neptune is coming in and bringing in like paranoia, sort of like irrational fears that you wouldn't otherwise be experiencing. It might be doubts. So Neptune just sort of, it can confuse. It can confuse and distort reality of what Saturn actually is. So yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, is that Saturn can be our boundaries, and Neptune says, screw the boundaries. So yeah, on one hand, Venus's square to Neptune can be really heart-opening. It can be extremely creative. It can open us up to new portals of creativity or connection, especially Venus and Gemini, through communication. So yeah, it'll be interesting to observe how this sort of trifecta of planets manifests in our life. But yeah, if you're an artist, this is definitely a good one to tap into. And the dreams. We're going to be talking more about dreams as we get into Mercury's cazimi. But yeah, I mean, sometimes a little bit of Neptune is good for inspiration and connecting with the potential of what's possible over Saturn, what things are. Neptune can sometimes show us what things could be. So it's like maybe we try to have that Gemini duality of one foot in reality and one foot of dreaming about what it could be. And yeah, like it can, with Neptune, it can go both ways of worst case scenario, best case scenario. So it'd be healthy if you had a little bit of both. What's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? And ideally, reality is somewhere in the middle. So that was your Venus in Gemini, hitting things off with Saturn and Neptune astrology shot of the day. And I will catch you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, stay connected with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also get on my mailing list to stay up to date on classes. I've got 2 monthly meetups, and I'm going to be launching a whole new rendition of my foundations course starting this September. So hope to see you there. Bye.